Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 131 for Tuesday, the 2nd of August, 2022. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Back. Sorry about that. It's Nick Fights.
And Sensei Switch as per usual.
Nick, we haven't seen you for a long time. Where have you been?
I've been a busy boy, mate. I've been working loads of hours, and then I went in the hospital for a few weeks, and then I've had other sort of personal crap going on, and now I'm back.
Oh, okay. So obviously we know that work is busy and stuff like that. Would you care to indulge what you're in hospital for? Or if you want to keep it personal, that's completely fine.
That's the same thing. I think I said to you, what I had a couple of years ago, an infection in my leg. I had the same thing again. But I was in there. I wasn't in there in hospital as long this time, but it was just a bit. Because last time when I was in 2 years ago, it was COVID time, so they were pretty much keeping everyone separate.
Yeah.
This time they put me on the wards with like loads of old men and like nearly dead, and that kind of affected me a bit because I'm like, oh great, I'm getting old, I'm gonna die, and then I haven't died yet, but it just wasn't nice because hospitals are never nice, is it? But it is what it is. But I'm getting a lot better now because the doctors actually told me what was wrong with me 2 years ago and told me how to sort of stop it and help prevent it, which would have been nice 2 years ago, but
Crazy.
And the personal stuff, we'll just leave that. But
we'll leave that, mate.
We'll leave that off because
that's fine, mate.
Not really to do with games and stuff, is it?
Nah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, mate. Yeah. So obviously we're back in action. So we're doing it the same as we normally do. We're doing a game each at a time. Then if one person runs out of games that they've played, well, then they can just be quiet and go to sleep or whatever. I'll chime in. It doesn't matter. Cool. So I think, since Nick hasn't been on for ages, give us a game that you've been playing and loving recently, dude.
I can give you a game I played and hated. Will that do?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, well, I played them all, actually. Played Half-Life 1, but I played that on the PS2 a while ago. Because someone said play it, and I was like, all right then. It's a first-person shooter game, how hard can it be? And it was very hard because I died and reloaded. It sent me back to the start of the game, and I accidentally clicked hard mode. That's why it was quite hard. And it's basically the PC game which was ported to the PS2, and it's not a very good port. It's very buggy and glitchy. The load times are really bad, and it's got a weird thing where like you have to it's got an autosave.
Right.
The autosave only works like whilst the PS2 is running. If you turn it off, it loses it. So you have to manually save, and the autosave is just whilst you're playing at the time. So if you forget to manually save...
it's basically a checkpoint.
Kind of a checkpoint, but it says saving and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I mean, I've played all the Half-Life games, before, but I've never played the first one all the way through because...
Mate, what a shit version to play all the way through. I mean, look, they've put out a remaster of this called Black Mesa on the PC. It's like £12. You could have just played that.
I've got it, mate, but it hasn't got controller support.
Oh my god.
It's a bit of a pain when I stream for the setup to play PC games, especially with keyboard and mouse, because I use the keyboard and mouse to control the stream. If I'm playing the game, then I can't control the stream as well. It's just a bit of a pain. I could get around it if it's got a controller, but see, this hasn't got controller support. But yeah, I probably should have played that one because, like I said, I can see why it was good for the late 90s, but this is just a really bad port. Like I say, full of bugs, loading times, crashes, and stuff like that. Also, there's a with the boss fight. There's a few boss fights where boss, like I killed the boss and it died, but it was still there, and the game said it wasn't dead, and it wouldn't let me progress. So I had to kill the same boss towards the end. It's basically like a giant. I don't know if you can remember it, because it's probably the same in Black Mesa. Towards the
Yeah.
end, it's like a giant head crab, from
Yeah.
Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to die and blow up and leave a hole in the floor.
Yeah.
So you go through that way. It died, blew up, but it didn't actually die, so I couldn't get through the hole in the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't a very good port, and I see why so many people slaughter it, to be honest. And I should not have played it. And I definitely shouldn't have played it on hard, because
No, I mean, you're the sort of guy who normally plays everyone on easy, aren't you? Anyway,
my choice, not because I can't. And I did select easy on this on the first time, and I didn't realise you had to save, because it said saving, It didn't say checkpoint or anything, it just said saving. So yeah, just be careful, because you shouldn't play a game on hard, because why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah, I know. I just want to. But yeah, I mean, I
On the PS2 achievements on PS2.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying nowadays, like.
But yeah, I mean, Half-Life, the original Half-Life, I've got such fond memories of that. It was one of the first FPS shooters on the PC, which I absolutely loved. Back in the 90s, I was still at school back then, and had a PC, and I used to play it, and I used to play Half-Life Online and Team Fortress Classic as well. And I remember my internet being so rubbish, I couldn't download the updates, so I had to ring the hotline for Valve, and they sent me a CD with the updates on in the post. It just so I could update the game to play it online again. Those were the days of dial-up internet. So but yeah, it is a great game. I played it on PC. Then I've also played through Black Mesa, which is the remaster last year. And it's such a great remaster, because it's literally just the same game with really good graphics now. But they have added some extra content as well, which is really, really cool. So it's definitely worth a playthrough, because it's one of those iconic games that really started off our first-person shooters with a amazing story. So yeah, such a great game. All right, shall I go next? Shall I talk about a game next?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Alright, cool. So, Darren's going to be quite, I'm trying to get the words out, quite surprised at this. Final Fantasy 14, mate.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I resubscribed today. And
I was saying I'll hold off a little bit. But then you're a patch behind anyway, aren't you, I think?
I am a patch behind, because I loaded it up today and I was like, oh, I've got all this story content. Oh, I've got all the Hildebrand content. Oh, I've got all this other stuff. So I started off the main storyline stuff, and then I was like, oh, there's Hildebrand. So I've just been doing the Hildebrand stuff, to be honest, which I've been really enjoying. Not giving away any spoilers or anything, but it's really weird, because I love Final Fantasy 14. Been playing it since 2013. It's my favourite MMO ever. But I've just been kind of missing the just the online aspect of it with the guild, because we've got a little Discord and there's people that still play it. I actually missed you.
It's gotten a bit busier this past couple of weeks, actually, the guild.
Oh, that's good, because
people logging in.
Well, I logged in today and I'd missed you by 2 minutes.
Oh, right. So
literally said
about, 5:30ish kind of.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it said, oh, Switch had logged out 2 minutes ago, and then everyone said, oh, you just missed him. I was like, oh, right, okay. But yeah, it's just one of those things, because it's that community feel to it. And I just love it, because I love a good RPG anyway, which I'll get to later. But it's just one of those games I just love to go back to every now and again, and because I know there's a lot of content that I need to play, I want to play for it in a minute, and there's some new content coming out next month as well. I just thought, you know what, I can dip in and out quite casual like, and just really enjoy it. So yeah, I am back in and loving it massively. So Yeah, that's all I wanted to say on it, because I know people have been sick of us talking about it for like 9 years.
If you want to do something pretty cool, although I think you still have to do most of the story to get to it, is like the new 24-man raid.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Yeah, that
actually
sounds
like really good, bar the sort of end boss where it still has like mechanics, where I'm kind of
Yeah.
like, what the fuck does that mean?
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I'm not going to rush through it. Just going to dip in and out. You know what I mean? Just every now and again. I just fancy just jumping on. Yeah. So, loving a bit of Final Fantasy 14 again. Runs and looks amazing now. I've done my PC upgrade and that as well. So I'm really pleased with how it is. Awesome times. So that's all I wanted to say on that one really. So I can tick that off. You can tick that off, Darren. Have you played anything else, Darren?
Just a bit. Played a bit more of Dungeon Fighter Duel or DNF Duel again this week.
Oh yeah. Have you played any of it online yet, or you just been playing it single player?
I just play the single player stuff. I don't even really have time for the online stuff. You're just waiting around for people. I get kind of annoyed with the online aspect of certain games. You just end up waiting around. I'm kind of a bit of an impatient person. You'd never know that.
Yeah.
But it was like even earlier today when I was on Fortnite just earlier on. I was sat there with my mate Goose, who I usually play it with most evenings. On the Save the World stuff, like the original Fortnite.
Yeah.
And we've just been sat in lobbies and no one's joining, and you're kind of like, right, so we can't really start this because you need the extra people in there to boost your power ratings.
Right.
Otherwise, you
Okay.
do like way less damage.
Right.
The less of you there are in the game,
Yeah.
which I think it should be the other way around. It should be the more people that are in, the more it kind of gets shared out. And if you're on your own, you should be fine. But because of this constant reliance on waiting for other people, it can mean you're almost gated out of certain content. And I know a bloke at work who's like, I can't progress with the main story because I need to do the main story, but I can't do it on my own, and no one's ever doing it.
Oh, that's so frustrating.
So yeah, waiting around for people and whatnot. I mean, I did all the online fighting stuff on the 360 and that, and I know the issues with like lag and all of that, and I just don't bother with the stress now. Like if I do play sort of like versus, it'll be when someone comes round and like just couch, you know what I mean, past the controller.
Yeah,
kind of
but
thing.
what I'm trying to like allude to is I don't know if Nick could help with this. It's just like I get really bored of fighters playing them single player like really fast. I'm just trying to get into your headspace of how you get enjoyment out of just playing these games over and over again.
Because I used to back in the day. Like, think before online existed, fighting games were massive.
Yeah.
Like some of the biggest fighting games ever were around before there was even online.
Yeah, but back in the day, people used to go around each other's houses a lot more and play couch versus and stuff like that,
it's
right?
just learning characters, going like you have slightly better storylines now to a certain ridiculous degree, depending on whatnot.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
don't know. I just never really get bored. You're talking about someone who likes the Dynasty Warriors games and stuff,
Yeah, true.
Only
and doing
really,
dailies on Final Fantasy.
I've only really played like Dragon Ball Fighter Z in the last 10 years of new fighting games, but
Right.
like I say, I used to play them a lot when I was younger on PS1, PS2. I used to play a lot of Dead or Alive 3 on the original Xbox when I was at sixth form, and that we used to have Xbox in the room. We used to all like play multiplayer and stuff like that then. So yeah, it's just something to do, and I don't play loads of it. That's just something to play for an hour to like turn your brain off, just punch some
Yeah,
people.
it's like as well like pick up and play. You
Yeah.
can stick on like certain arcade games or fighting games, and you'd be like, I'll stick this on. I'll be done with the campaign in like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You just go through the story sort of a thing. You've got a little bit of time, and there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Fair dingles, mate. Fair dingles. Fair dingly doos. Who's next? Nick. Go, go, go.
So obviously I played Half-Life 1, so then I had to go and play Half-Life 2.
On what
And then
system?
on free or the Series X, but you know it's the orange box sort of version. I played through all of
Yeah.
those. I mean, I played them before. That was like one of the first games I got when I got my PC, you know, years ago, like 2004. You know, when I first got a PC and that. But so I played through all of them, and they're so much better than the original. They just play better. You know, the graphics are better. The gunplay is better. Also, it's got the episodes on there. You know, episode 1 and episode 2. Don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever played those.
Yeah, I
Maybe.
played them back in the day, yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, I mean that, but it got if it's just Xbox Series X or a One X patch. I don't know which one it is, but it looks a lot better than what you've got on the Twitch channel. Because
Oh,
it looks,
really?
yeah, it looks a lot better, a lot smoother. I think it's like 4K and stuff like that. But it's one of those things where, you know, if you go back and play games that are really old, you think, oh, I can't remember the game looking this. There you go, you got it up now. You can't remember it looking this bad, but this actually looks how I remembered it looking.
Right, okay.
Plus, it's got all the load times and stuff like that, a lot faster and stuff. But I just went through all those, just like really enjoyed it. Plus, it's got the gravity gun and stuff like that, and that's
Yeah, yeah,
always a
yeah.
laugh as well.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I must have played through this 3 or 4 times, and obviously, you get the people are always asking for Half-Life 3 because of the cliffhanger at the ending where Alex's dad gets killed and then you're attacked by the main monster baby things or whatever, and it just
Right.
ends.
Yeah.
I mean, we're never really gonna get a sequel, are we? But because you don't really need one, because like a lot of people forget, because you know obviously you've got the big portal in the sky, which is where all the bad guys and the combine and everything came from. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
you actually close it in episode 2, don't you? So
Yeah, I just don't really remember it that well, mate. It's been many years since I played it, so
basically that's what you do. You close the portal where they all come from,
right.
and then basically, shit hits the fan. Alex's dad, the black dude with one leg, gets
Yeah.
killed in front of you, and then basically the game just ends like on sort of like a cliffhanger for Gordon Freeman, Alex and stuff. But you've closed the portal, so
Yeah.
I don't know what more they could have done. You can't
Mhm.
get no more bad guys coming through or whatever.
Yeah.
Unless they actually did. I mean, they did a VR game. What was it,
Yeah,
Half-Life
Half-Life
Alyx?
Alex. Yeah.
I mean, I never played that because I haven't got VR or nothing like that. But just really
Yeah.
good games, and obviously Valve and now Steam are just making so much money through Steam. They just don't. They're too busy counting money to make games anymore.
I know, it's crazy.
I
That
mean,
is what it is.
I imagine most of those developers have all gone off to work at other studios and stuff anyway. Because if you're a dev, you're not just going to stick around to fondle a Steam page or something, are you?
No. No.
Also, if anyone does want to say, "Oh, I remember that. I want to play them again on Series X or One X," you can't actually buy it off the store anymore on the Xbox.
Oh. Ah.
But you can if you go online through the 360 store section. It
Ah,
works through
right,
backwards
okay.
compatible. It's just a bit weird, how they took it off there and it works for that. I don't know why they've done that. They do that with quite a lot of the Valve games. I think Left 4 Dead is like that as well.
Right, okay.
Just a weird thing because
Must
they're
be some
always,
licensing or something.
yeah. So they haven't got license to sell it on the new console, but they could sell it on the old console store. Maybe that way they don't have to pay Valve more money. Maybe, I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe, I don't know. Yeah. It's an odd one, isn't it?
We're arguing over who gets what money for these games year on. It's just is what it is,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Great game. I
Yeah,
miss
it
miss
is.
games like that.
It is. If you want to listen to the rest of this week's awesome episode, you need to subscribe to the Patreon. head on over to patreon.com/360gamercast to sign up from as little as £5 a month to listen to an episode every single week of the year and any special episodes that we do. So the website again, patreon.com/360gamercast.